I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called Gatao, The Last Stray. Romance unexpectedly blossoms when a freelance photographer arrives late for her assignment at a full moon celebration thrown for a mob boss newborn. This movie just came out. It's 2 hours long. Spoiler alert, let's get it. So right at the back, they show niggas beefing. Wait a minute, everybody still alive? Q's there whipping everybody's ass. All them niggas there giving the beatings. Who the heck is this lady holding the camera? Okay, so the story takes place before Gatao 2, Rise of the King. So it's the third installment, but it's more so like a prequel. So we're at the celebration thing. Look at this younger version of Ren. Oh shit. Niggas gathered around for the coronation. And Q's just chilling waiting for the photographer to get here. So Ren's got everybody together with Boss Tanaka right there with the white suit. And the left of him is Shima and his girlfriend. Now everybody's prospering because they own construction and properties and stuff like that. But Sheikah feels like he's not getting his just due. He feels like he's just getting scraps. Now he's got plenty of money to live off of because his wife is the mayor and his father runs shit. But because Ren and the bosses are getting a bigger piece of the pie, Sheikah's not satisfied. Meanwhile, the photographer finally comes for Q. Her name is Chi-Chi and she's very diligent about her work. Matter of fact, she asks Q to help her out. They take pictures of Ren of his wife and his baby. Chi-Chi's got Q holding the camera equipment and all that shit. Afterwards, the guys get into a little tussle over something about the camera and he accidentally drops it. He tells her he'll pay for it, but she's like, you can't get this lens anywhere. It's a certain type of lens. And she's not even sure if they even sell it anymore. Next day, she's back at the shop developing the film, and Q pays her a visit in person to get the film. Now, right off the back throughout the conversation, you could tell some chemistry's about to spark up here. Afterwards, she goes back to taking more pictures of people. Then she starts walking around the area. Then she ends up finding Q punishing people for doing drugs. So they get to talking, and Q actually has another job for her. He's gonna get her to take pictures at this other ceremony. Now, see this guy in the middle? That's Inspector Chief Lohan. Why is he important? Because he just happens to be Chi-Chi's uncle. So as they kick off the celebration, Sheikah's still disgruntled about the money. Then we find out later on what Sheikah's really all about. So the Northtown prides themselves on keeping their area clean with nobody selling drugs. And what is Sheikah doing on the low under his father's nose? Getting people to make some new type of drug. This guy with the glasses on makes some master type of drug that when you sniff it, it affects you in like 5 seconds. That guy's got skills. Oh, wait a minute, he looks familiar. Well, anyway, they put the plan into motion. Well, anyway, Q and his boy go out with Chai and her friend, double dating. He's trying to make you number one priority. Then we get to this club scene. This girl's trying to give him the business, but he's a virgin, so he's shy. Then he gives her this drug to call. He says, don't mix it with anything else or you could possibly die. He tells her it's a new drug called Psycho. Oh, shit. So that's who he becomes in Gatao 2 Rise of the King. Motherfucking Psycho. Now I can really see it now. That's just crazy. So anyway, he goes back to the lab and gets back to work. Some niggas at the construction site getting the goods. Then we have a meeting with the president, Ren, Q, and the Inspector Lohan. They're trying to figure out who popping these drugs in the streets because it ain't the older guys. It's all about the youngins doing this shit. They say they don't know, but they gonna get to the bottom of it. Then we got niggas patrolling the area for a little bit. Then Q comes back to see Chi-Chi, but he's like, Chi-Chi called out sick. So the girl there told her the area where she stays at, and he drives to the location. Why he parked so far away, I have no idea. Anyway, he knocks on everybody's door until he finally finds her. She's like, yeah, I've been sick, but how the fuck did you find me? Well, anyway, he's like, fuck all that, you feeling bad, I'm taking you to the hospital and that's that. And she's grateful to him. He takes care of everything's good and gravy, then she's back at work making pictures. Meanwhile, Sheikah and his wife is having a discussion in the tub, and he keeps getting pissed off because she keeps bringing up his damn dad. And he's starting to feel inferior to him. The family got business to attend to, but Q is bringing Chi-Chi to work. You already know what it is. So she goes along. She officially part of the crew. They go to a spot to get some gambling done, and Ren's running the table as usual. But then here comes Sheikah for the takeover. They start placing their bets. Ren's killing him. But then they get serious when he bets his portion of the construction project. I'm like, oh boy. And his crew showed up with guns. This shit could go left in a hurry. Now he did win his money back, but niggas got the drop on him like, hey yo, don't be bringing guns in our spot, nigga. What the fuck you think this is? Ren's like, look man, you done showed your ass twice. There won't be a third time. Sheikah's like, alright, we'll see about that shit. Chi-Chi was scared a little bit, but Q's make sure to comfort her. Next day, Q's come to see his boo again, and they about to have a little date. But Sheikah had sent this goons out and was like, hey yo, the first one to kill Q get this money. But this lady saw him coming and was like, hey yo, call off the squad, son. So they walking down, they about to get surrounded. It just it was about to beat my nigga with the bats. Here come his niggas, they evened up the squads. And this is basically the fight we saw at the beginning of the movie. Beef and more beef. They chased their bitch niggas away. They ain't want it. Then Q checks on his boo Chi-Chi like, hey, you good? She like, no, you good? You got scratched on your shoulder. She wanted to take him to the hospital, but he was like, nah, take me home, man. They carry records. We ain't got time for that shit. Then he gets one of them, all my life I had to fight stories. He's like, you know, I'm always be there for you, boo. You already know I got this. And then they get to love it. Time for him to give her the business. Afterwards, they go to the library. She shows him a cookbook. One of her favorite recipes that he secretly takes a picture of in his phone. Meanwhile, Detective Lohan is confronting Sheikah and his niggas about the goddamn drugs on the street. They don't know nothing about it neither. But we all know who's in charge of this operation. Then they have a conversation in the tub where Sheikah's lying to him about not having a drug lab in the laboratory. And when he gave his dad the drink and giving him a massage, I thought he was trying to kill him at first. But bottom line here, dad doesn't even trust his own son at this point. Which at this point, you know he's going to want to try to take over. Alright, so in this one scene at the construction site, they're delivering the goods, but they don't know it was the bald head nigga doing that work at Sheikah, because you know he's shipping out the drugs. Then we go to a conversation with the OGs, and both of them know it's Sheikah doing this shit, but the question is, what are they going to do about it? Meanwhile, Q and Chi-Chi are chilling in the library, and she tells him that he's like a shark, because sharks stop breathing when they're not constantly moving. They have to keep moving even if they're asleep. So she's basically comparing him to a shark because he's always doing stuff and he's never sleeping. Which is kind of a metaphor for the lifestyle that he lives. So then later on while Chi-Chi's at work, Q gets his boys over to make that recipe that he copied from the book in the library. Chi-Chi's surprised he actually fixed it. At first she was like, did you get this from a catalog or something? Because ironically, it just happens to be one of her favorite meals. Yeah, he cooked it, but obviously he had some help. He definitely gonna get the business tonight. In Sheikah's household, it was cool at first. But then she's like, you ain't cooked for me in years. Like, nigga, what you want? Then the conversation gets real heated when he starts talking about her dad again. And then as soon as he comes in, he just leaves the table. So as he leaves the table, Tanaka's talking shit about him like he'll always be my lap dog. So he feels like he's not getting his proper money, and he feels like he's getting disrespected and humiliated by his own dad. I keep saying his dad is her dad, my bad. He ain't getting no respect, so you know what time it is. Then we go to the club again. So the chick that was up on Psycho ends up taking the Psycho stuff, but she mixed it with some heroin. I'm like, no. And then Psycho say if she mixed it up with anything, it would kill her. Well, guess what? Done deal, dead. Next day hits the news. I don't know whether Rasika's happy or pissed off about it, because it will bring attention to the construction site. Anyway, Q and Chi-Chi go on another date, and then he has a present for her. He ends up buying her that rare lens film thing that was made years ago. He was somehow able to find it. And then they start taking pictures. So sweet, but then he gets a call from the bosses. He tell her he'd be right back, he gotta handle business. Q gets there, they like, oh, you got here late, what you been doing? You chilling with your boo? Spectre comes up to him like, yeah, I know you been chilling with. Guess what? That's my, I'm her uncle, so get it together. The fuck, he's supposed to be scared or something? Like, come on. So because of what they said on the news, they had to close down the construction site, so now they're looking at footage. Then they found the footage of the bald head nigga that was in there doing stuff. Time to check out the warehouse. But when they check, they don't find nothing in there. But they ain't find nothing. The whole purpose of Sheikah doing that, though, was to close down the warehouse so he can get some extra money on the low. He said, fuck it, if I can get my proper share, you ain't either. But Ren comes down pissed off because he didn't want Sheikah to know that they was on to him. Because for the simple fact, they don't have no hard evidence that he did anything. And his people think he's slipping because he's been spending too much time with Chi-Chi. The pussy got his brain malfunctioning. Sheikah comes back to the lab and starts berating everybody. And he's like, look, man, you either take out Q or I'm gonna take you out. Then he tells Psycho to get back to work and starts berating him too. I'm like, oh boy. The quiet dudes are not the ones you want to push, especially knowing the fact that we know who he is now. Back at home, Chi-Chi's worried about Q. She not understand that their lives come from two different sides of the spectrum. The fact is, she loves him anyway. She just wants him to be honest. They make up everything is all good and gravy and you already know what's happening next. Then they have themselves a nice day afterwards. Nighttime, oh, here come this motherfucker again. Oh no, they got a squad coming at their Q and Chi-Chi. It breaks out niggas trying to get stabbed and shit. But before he gets totally annihilated, the police come. But unfortunately, Chi-Chi got completely fucked up. I was like, oh my god, she dead? But he's there at the hospital and Uncle's like, see, you can't protect her. And they haven't shown us that she's still alive yet, but bottom line is they get together, you already know what they're about to do. They caught his goofy ass walking around, and their brothers caught his ass slipping. You already know what time it is. Time for you to get tortured. After he spills out all the information and tells them Sheikah's really behind it, you know what Ren is like, hey man, he's like, yo, take care of it. You already know what happens when the boss says that. They gotta sleep with the fishies. Then we find out Chi-Chi is still alive. She's just badly injured in the hospital. Sheikah comes back to the lab and everything's damn near cleared out. Then Q and all niggas start to shooting. She trying to call Q, but there's no response, no answer. Q stomping out niggas, but Sheikah escapes. Then they show Psycho in the back of the warehouse. Sheikah pops up in the back. Psycho pulls out a gun and starts banging off on him. Then he gets that crazy ass walk. Yeah, that walk he developed back in The Rise of the King. Then starts talking that crazy shit to him like he's really gonna be able to respond. Then nigga's dead. And up to this point, this is the most he said the entire movie. And then he dips out. Q finds Shiva done deal dead. You got niggas up top of the bridge waiting on the beef, but who filled them in? Oh shit, Tanaka received the call, so he was gonna have his son killed anyway. Alright, so we have a flashback of what happened before they got to the warehouse. Tanaka and his boys came through to murk these niggas. Then he grabs a Psycho. Psycho was like, man, I was just trying to make some money for school. This one's up spilling his guts, telling him everything. Then they ended up murking his ass after the fact. And then he tells his real son to carry out the plans. And his real son was one of the 3 guys that was on the bridge, who I thought worked with Ren at first, but apparently not. Now, at one point in the movie, Sheikah told his wife to look for his insurance card. But it was really so she could find a bunch of mementos because it was their 10th anniversary coming up. And yeah, she found out he was done deal dead. Meanwhile, Chi-Chi's surprised that Cha came through and not Q to make sure she was good. And he's like, look, Cha's got to handle some business. Then the wife confronts Tanaka and asks her, did you do it? And in not so many words, he basically confessed to her. I'm pretty sure she's going to get some revenge or justice or something. And I'm not sure what her uncle told her, but I'm pretty sure it's something about her not being able to see Q again. Meanwhile, Q's got to get in the car, and he's got to get in the boat and get up out of here because, you know, niggas looking for him. After she got to the hospital, Chi-Chi, we see all her pictures up on display. And she was able to have a successful museum. Then they showed the scene where Q was watching Chi-Chi make a speech. But I'm guessing he left after she finished up, so she wasn't able to see him. And yeah, that's the end of the movie. Man, this 3-part trilogy was off the chain. The first movie was about getting out of jail, revenge, and beef. Everybody dying, including the main characters and shit. The second movie was about rising up to a king, taking over territories and all that good shit. And the third movie became more of a prequel to the second movie. Had a little romance in there involved with the beef. And it showed us the background of Q and Psycho. All in all, this joint was lit. I say check them all out. Like I said, Gatao Part 2 and 3 on Netflix, as you've just seen me do. Part 1 I was able to find on YouTube. I couldn't find the English sub though. Hell, if you can find the English dub of the first one, let me know. Shit. Gatao, The Last Stray on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Slick DZ, all DZ, Mr. 666. Ha 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 ha. Big. You got that slogan.